So, in this lecture, we are going to study work, energy, and power. So, we are going to study work, energy, and power. So, these are three concepts that we will basically deal in this lecture series. And to establish our understanding of our work, let us consider a very simple example that will help us to understand what is work and what is work energy theorem. So, Let us assume let us assume that we have a particle of mass m. Let us assume we have a particle of mass m. So we have a particle or a ball of mass m, and if I apply a force on it, let us say I apply a force on F on it, and the acceleration experienced by the mass or the ball due to this force is A. So A is the acceleration that is caused by the force F. So let us assume that under the effect of the force the particle travels a distance d. So let us say if I apply a force F on it at initial point, and under the effect of this force the particle travels a distance d, so and it reaches a final position F, and it started from the initial position x is equal to xi, and reaches the final position at f is equal to xf, and the distance crossed by the particle is d, and it is caused the particle travels a distance d due to the acceleration that is provided by this force F. And I have, for the simplicity, assumed that the motion is along the horizontal direction. In the horizontal direction. So let us say at the initial point, the initial velocity of the particle is u, and at the final point, the final velocity of the particle is v. So I know from the kinematics that v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So if I divide by 2 on the both side of this equation, this kinematic equation, I'll get v square by 2 minus u square by 2 is equal to 2as by 2. The 2 will cancel out, and this is a. So the distance traveled by the particle is a into d. So this is the form of our kinematic equation. Now if I multiply by the mass of the particle on both sides, I will get m v square by 2 minus m u square by 2 is equal to m a d. Now ma is the applied force on the particle, which is equal to f, and d is the distance. So finally we got mv square by 2 minus mu square by 2 is equal to fd. So now we will understand what we have got from this result. So we can see that this quantity half mv square and minus half mu square by 2 mu square by 2 represent the kinetic energy. The half m velocity square is the kinetic energy of the system. The kinetic energy of the system is the energy experienced by the particle when it is moving with a velocity moving with some velocity. So suppose that I have some point particle of mass m that is moving with a velocity v, and the condition is that v is very very less than the speed of light. So the half m v square represents the kinetic energy of the particle. So this half mv square represents the kinetic energy of the particle. Now let us shift back to our this example. So this half mv square represents the kinetic energy final. Similarly, half mu square represent kinetic energy initial, and this Fd is given a special name which is the work done. So this quantity Fd is the work done along the horizontal direction. Because I have considered the motion in the horizontal direction. So the force F is applied in this direction, and d is the displacement or the distance traveled by the particle in this direction. Displacement traveled by the particle in this direction. So Fd, this special product is the work done by the particle, work done by the particle under the work done by the particle when a force F is applied and the displacement is d. So Fd, the special product, is the work done by the particle when a force F is applied on it, and the displacement caused by the displacement due to this force is d. So this kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial represent the difference in the kinetic energy final and kinetic energy initial. So this is the difference of the kinetic energy of the particle, and this is equal to the work done by the force F when the displacement is d. So this is our work energy theorem. So I have just considered a very simple example to see how we got work energy theorem. This example was particularly taken because it is really simple to understand that how from kinematics law the work energy theorems comes naturally. So work energy theorem is the work work energy theorem is a theorem by which we can calculate the work done by the particle, which is equal to the kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial, that is the difference of the kinetic energy of the system. So let us now write the definition of work energy theorem. So according to the work energy theorem, we have work done by a force F is equal to the net kinetic energy difference of the configuration. Okay, so the work W is equal to the delta KE, that is change in the kinetic energy. So this is our work energy theorem. So I have just considered a simple example, that is motion along the horizontal direction, to introduce the concept of work energy theorem. But let us now define work in general. So let us suppose definition of work is given by F dot dr. So suppose I have a particle that is moving from point A to B, and the applied force and we have an applied force F on the particle. So at any point along the trajectory, if I take a displacement vector dr, then the angle between the F and the dr vector is some theta. So F dr, so F dr cos theta, or F cos theta into dr. F cos theta represent the projection of the F vector along the dr vector. So F cos theta into dr can be written as F dot dr vector. So this is equal to dw, that is the small work done by the force F to move the particle along, to move the particle through a displacement dr. So this dw is work done by the force F to move a particle through a displacement dr along AB, that is path AB. So dw is equal to F vector dot dr vector, which is equal to F cos theta dr, and if I integrate on the both side, the net force done the net force done by the force F on the particle to move a particle from A to B is given by integration of F dot dr vector. So this is a general definition of the work done by the particle under the force F when the particle is moving along some path. So up until now we have discussed what is work energy theorem and what is work in general, the general definition of the work. So let us now move forward and discuss more concept in the work energy theorem. So let us now discuss what we have learned up until now. So we learned work energy theorem. So work energy theorem is nothing but it's a theorem to calculate the work done by the particle, and it basically says that the work done by the force F is nothing but the change in kinetic energy. So according to the work energy theorem, if I have a particle that initially has a velocity u and it moves with a velocity v at the final point, and the displacement caused by the particle in this duration of motion is d, and the displacement is caused by some force F, then the work energy theorem says that the work done by the force F is equal to the change in the kinetic energy, and kinetic energy is defined by half m velocity square. So any quantity that has some mass and it is moving with a velocity, it has a energy associated with it, which is the kinetic energy of the body. So this is the work energy theorem, and then we saw that the definition of work in general. So work was given by W is equal to integration of F dot dr vector, that is a dot product between the force and the displacement, that the differential displacement. So suppose that I have a particle that is moving from point A to B, and at any instant of time, let's say the force F is this, and if this is our differential distance at this instant, and if this angle is theta, then F cos theta dot dr vector represent dw, that is the work done to carry a particle through a displacement dr under the effect of force F. So if I integrate this quantity from point x is equal to a to x equal to b, I'll have the force or the work done by the force F to move a particle from point A to point B. And the force F can be either constant or it can depend on R. That is, the force can be a constant like gravity, like mg, the weight of the body, or it can generally depend on R, that is the position of the particle at that instant. And if so, let us now discuss what happened when we have a variable force. So let us first write this down. So work done by the particle under a variable force. A variable force is a force that depend on the position of the particle. So F is generally F of x. I have considered the horizontal direction only for simplicity. So suppose that I have a F versus x graph, and the pattern of this graph is something like this. So at any instant, let's say at x is equal to x1, the projection at on the y-axis represent the force at that point. So a variable force is a force that in which the force is changing with the position of the particle or with the position. So suppose that I have a particle that is moving under this variable force, and this is the general trajectory, or sorry, the general pattern of this f versus x graph. And let's say if this is x equal to xi, and this is x is equal to xf. So this is a this is our graph for a particle that is moving under a variable force f, that is changing with distance, that is the force that is changing with the distance. And let us say at initial point, that is at the initial point, the force is given by this, and at the final point the force is given by the projection along the y-axis. This is fi and this is ff. So if I now take a vertical small strip of width delta x, then the quantity fx delta x represent the area of the strip. So this quantity represents the area of this strip, and we can also understood or can understand this quantity like this, that this quantity fx delta x represent the work done by the particle, work done by the force fx to move a particle through a displacement delta x. Okay, so we have basically two different meaning. One is geometrically and one which is just based on physics. So fx delta x represent the area of the strip, and the other definition is work done by the force fx to move a particle through a displacement delta x. So let us now see if I do a summation from x is equal to xi to x is equal to xf of this quantity fx delta x, then I'm kind of taking the summation of all these vertical strip from initial point to the final point. So in general, if I do this mathematical calculation, then I have calculated the work done by the force F to move a particle from xi to xf. So this is the summation of this quantity means this, that we have calculated the work done by the force to move a particle from xi to xf. And if I now take limit delta x tending to 0, then this means that my summation, sorry, I have to draw the sign of summation once again. Summation x is equal to xi to xf of fx delta x will change to fx dx from xi to xf. So our summation will change to integration under the limit delta x tending to 0. That is, if the width of the strip is very small, that it's 10 to 0, then our summation will change to integration. So we see that this integration represents the work done by the variable force to move a particle from xi to xf, and it also represents the area under the f versus x graph. So we saw that how we have calculated the value of force by, we have understood that work done is nothing but the area under the curve of the f versus x graph. So we will use this concept later on to solve problems. But let us now first discuss power. And power is defined by rate of change of work. Rate of change of work, that is dw by dt. And let's say I define my work done as f dot r vector. Then if my force is a small, and if my force is constant, I can write f dot dr by dt vector, and my value for dw by dt will change to f dot v. So this is my definition of power when I simplify this expression. So power is given by force by the dot product of force and velocity, and the unit of the power is watt, and it's a scalar quantity like work. So we have discussed important concept up until now, and now we will discuss work done by spring forces and work done by a constant force like gravity, and we will solve one example problem to see how we have to apply work energy theorem to solve problems. So we'll now solve this question and we'll learn how to apply the concept of work energy theorem. To remind you once again, we discussed work energy theorem and the general definition for the work done in the previous lectures, and we learned that the change in the kinetic energy is equal to the work by the force F, done by the force. So if I need to calculate the work done by any force to move a particle through a distance d, then what I can do is just find the difference of the kinetic energy final and kinetic energy initial. So if I do kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial, I will get the work done of the system. So this was work energy theorem. So let us now read this question and understand what it's asking and how to apply the concept of work energy theorem in this question. So we are given that we have a block of mass m and it is moving on the horizontal surface with a velocity 2 meter per second, and it encounters the rough surface from zero point 0.1 to 2.01 meter. Okay, so and the and the duration of the force, or sorry, the distance, and when the body will encounter a rough surface, its velocity will decrease with the distance, and the retardation or the retardation during that time is due to this retarding force. So, and we are given that the value of the constant is this, and we have to calculate the kinetic energy of the block. So let us now see what the question is saying. So we are given that we had a block of mass m that was moving with a velocity of 2 meter per second. Okay, so if the block is moving with a 2 meter per second, then its velocity will not change with time and its acceleration will be zero. So suppose that if the rough surface was not present, then the block will always move with a velocity of 2 meter per second. Okay, so at every instant of time, the velocity of the body will be 2 meter per second and its acceleration will be zero. If and only if it doesn't encounter a rough surface. But suppose that if the block is moving with a initial velocity 2 meter per second and it encounters a rough surface, kind of like this, a bumpy road, and when it goes from 0.10 to 2.01, it encounters a rough surface, and due to this bumpy road, its velocity will decrease with the distance. So we have to calculate what is the velocity, or what is the final velocity of the particle when it is at 2.01 meter. So to do this question, we have to first understand what is work energy theorem. So as I said before, work energy theorem is delta change in kinetic energy is equal to the work done by the force. So suppose the body is moving with a velocity of 2 meter per second, and at 0.010 it encounters a bumpy road or a rough surface, kind of like this, till 2.01 meter, and the retarding force that is acting from 0.10 to 2.01 is given by minus k by x. So if the block was at this point and if the block was moving in this direction, so the retarding force will apply in the opposite direction. This is the direction of the retarding force. Okay, so this is the direction of the retarding force. So let us now apply work energy theorem. So let's say the body is moving with 2 meter per second, and at 0.01 meter its velocity will be 2 meter per second, and at 2.01 we have to find out what is the final kinetic energy or the velocity of the particle. So kinetic energy final we have to find out, and kinetic energy initial is half m v square initial, that is at this point, and it is equal to f into dx. That is, suppose that at any instant of time the force acting on the particle is F, and the small displacement it covers is equal to dx. So if the particle is moving in this direction, that is its displacement is along the plus x-axis, and its retardation force is along the minus x-axis, then the angle between the force and the displacement is, I mean, this theta is equal to 180 degree. Because the block is moving in the positive x-axis and the force or the retarding force is applying in the opposite direction of the motion, so the angle between the force and the displacement is 180 degree. So this will change to f dx cos 180 is minus 1, and we have to integrate it from 0.10 to 2.01, because the work done by the force, our retarding force, is from 0.10 to 2.01. So we have to calculate the work done during this displacement. Okay, so kinetic energy final is equal to half m vi square minus 0.1 to 2.01. F is k by x dx. Okay, so if I now integrate this expression, it will be minus k ln x. Okay, from 0.1 to 2.01. Okay, this is the answer of the integration. So if I now have to calculate half m vf square, and this is half m vi square, and this is equal to minus k ln x from 0.10 to 2.01. So by substituting the limit, I will get minus k ln 2.01 upon 0.10. So this is the value for the integration, that is the work done by the retarding force. Okay, so kinetic energy final, or half m vf square, is equal to half m vi square minus k ln x, that is 2.01 to 0.10. So you can just solve this quantity and can get the value of the kinetic energy final. And if you need to find the velocity of the particle, then you can substitute half mvf square and can get the value of velocity final by algebraic manipulation. And I forgot to tell you that mass m was 2 kg. Okay, so this is our final answer. So this is how we will use work energy theorem to find the quantity of interest. So in this question we need to find the kinetic energy final, so we use work energy theorem to find this solution, find the solution. But now let us use Newton laws of motion to solve this question. So now we are going to see the second method from Newton laws of motion. So we are given that m dv by dt is equal to F. So this is our Newton second law. So Newton's second law says that the force on the particle is equal to the rate of change of momentum. That is how the momentum is changing with time. So this is our Newton's second law. If I now substitute m dv by dt on the left, and in place of f I substitute the value for this force, that is minus k by x, and now if I perform a algebraic manipulation like this, that is multiplying and dividing by the small displacement dx, then this expression will be minus k by x. So now my expression will change to m v dv upon dx is equal to minus k by x. So mv dv is equal to minus k by x dx. So if I now perform integration on the both side, I will get mv squared by 2 is and do I have to apply the limits. So v initial is 2 meter per second and v final I have to find out, and over here my integration limit will be k by x dx, and integration is from 0.10 to 2.01. So if I now substitute the value over here, I'll get kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial, that is half m 2 square is equal to 0.10 to 2.01 minus k by x dx. So again we see re, we have just again got the work energy theorem by using Newton's second law. So this from even from using Newton's second law, we got the same structure, that is the work energy theorem. So now I can just solve this integration like I did previously, like I did before a few minutes ago. So by performing the integration, I'll get minus k ln x integration from 0.10 to 2.01, and this is kinetic energy final, this is kinetic energy initial, and we have to just substitute the final and the initial limit and I'll get the answer. So we see how we can directly apply Newton, how we can apply conserve work energy theorem and can get the answer, or we can just follow Newton's second law and then reach work energy theorem by using the concept of Newton's second law and performing some algebraic manipulation solving differential equation. So this completes our discussion on how to solve problems by using work energy theorem, and now we'll move forward to other other concepts.